Good morning, my dreamers, my goal setters, and my achievers. And yes, you are all three because if you have a dream, you can set goals and you can definitely achieve that dream. So, if this is your first time here, my name is Kelly Moore. Hi, hello, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. But if you're returning, again, hi, thank you for coming back. Hopefully, we discuss something that really sparks with you. So, today's video, I want to talk about a movie, and it's a kids' movie. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, what does a kids' movie have to do with career development, right? A lot. And the movie I'm talking about is Pixar Soul. Love that movie. Love it, love it, love it. That movie, to me, is all about career development. There's so many words that swarm around in that movie that have to do with like figuring out and defining who you are, especially as it relates to achieving your dreams and goals in the professional world. Some of the words that you hear like over and over again in the movie is spark, purpose, passion, flow, soul. All these things are constantly going on in the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, a little bit of a spoiler alert. It is about a gentleman named Joe. He is actually a music teacher. He's been a music teacher for a while, but his main passion and goal is to be in the big leagues. He wants to perform professionally. Not quite satisfied with being a teacher, but he's doing that because, of course, he has to make ends meet. So he gets this opportunity. One of his past students calls him and wants him to come out and basically perform for a well-known artist named Dorothea. On his way to getting ready for that, he actually drops into a pothole and no longer is living. So he passes on to the great beyond, and that's where he meets 22. And basically, the whole movie is about him trying to help 22 figure out her spark. And that's the whole premise of the movie. During the movie, he's talking to 22 about what his spark is, and his spark is music. And he feels that that's, everything. If he doesn't accomplish music, then his life is meaningless. So at this point, having passed over, he feels like his life literally wasn't used properly because he wasn't able to accomplish that goal. So I want to talk about that movie in more depth as it relates to career development because I think it says a lot. Definitely talks about feeling unfulfilled. And there's this iconic scene in the movie at the very end where he actually performs with Dorothea. And, he goes into that zone and he's so passionate, but then he has to come down from that moment, right? So he comes down from that moment and it's all done. It's all said and done. He's accomplished this great goal of his. And he talks to Dorothea and he's just like, what next? And she's like, we do it again tomorrow. And he expected so much more. So she tells him the story of the fish. And this fish is swimming, young fish, and he comes across an older fish, and he's like, I want to see the ocean. And the older fish is like, you're in the ocean. And the younger fish is like, no, this is just water. So that story goes back to you're seeking something that is so big in your mind that you don't even realize that you're in it, that you're experiencing it. And as he's looking back on his life and he starts to really think about how things really played out, he realizes that he did enjoy being a teacher. He did enjoy seeing his students that had that spark and enjoy what they did and helping to cultivate that in them. He enjoyed playing music with his father. He enjoyed spending time with his mom. And he just realized there was so much more to life than just this goal of being a professional jazz player. Like, I want to say he played the piano, but he also did other instruments as well. So it's just profound when you think of it that way, and especially considering that it's coming from a child's movie. I think that it gives us a lot to work with when it comes to what are your goals and do you feel like you've accomplished them yet? And if you don't feel like you've accomplished them yet, is that really the truth? Like, if you really think about it, have you actually reached that area and have obtained this, but you just haven't realized it. It hasn't dawned on you that you're there. And I think that's huge, right? Like, what are you trying to get to, and how do you make the best of each moment that you're living in? And passion doesn't have to be this overall end goal. It's a journey, right? Like, you want to enjoy the journey. You want to enjoy going through the process versus just thinking about this end result. If you think of it in that sense, like, oh yeah, if I had this perfect job, everything would be perfect. And that's not really life, right? You have to enjoy the journey to get there. And I think that's the main thing that the movie really speaks on. So I think that's one of the first takeaways from that movie, is just realizing that, yeah, it's about that journey and enjoying each moment versus building something up in your mind that might not be obtainable, right? Another thing that I think is huge is figuring out you. 22 in the movie, her main thing was she didn't really know what she wanted. In the beginning, they went to this one place, the Hall of Everything. And during that time, like, she's like, nope, I don't like to cook. Nope, I don't like to eat. Nope, I don't like music. Nope, I don't like this. But it's a process, right? You have to figure out what you enjoy and what you want to do. And that takes time. Because sometimes it's easy to figure out what you want to do by figuring out what you don't like to do, right? Like, going down that process. And I think that one huge thing that will help with that is career assessments, doing career assessments and doing different inventories to kind of figure out what do you like, what do you enjoy, what are you passionate about. And that's what I think going to school and training is all about. I will tell anyone who will listen to me, if they are just new to college, spend that time just taking classes that interest you. You don't have to settle on a major right away. Just figure out what it is you enjoy, because sometimes what you think you enjoy might not be what you really enjoy. So just playing it out and going through the process is helpful, because that helps you to get to a point where you know, okay, this is something that I'm good at, this is something that I love to do, this is something that I'm passionate about, and that will get you there. Another thing about the movie that I feel like is huge is that you have to figure out a way to balance everything. And when I say balance, I mean find harmony in everything, right? For Joe in the movie, his main goal is just to really succeed career-wise. And some of the other things in his life were neglected, right? So 22 does a good job of pointing out, like, oh yeah, when I saw that there was this young lady in your life, why don't you reach out to her? And that was something that he didn't really cultivate. That's a relationship that he didn't let grow because he was so set on his goal. He was just so tunnel vision that he did not realize, like, there's other aspects of life. And making sure that you nurture those other aspects of life. I know I've done a video before on work-life harmony, and that's huge. You have to make sure that you're not just having everything be so tunnel vision that you're not thinking about the other aspects of who you are. Because career, yes, it's a huge part of who you are, but you are other roles too, right? For myself, I'm not just a professional, right? I'm also a mother. I am a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. There's so many other elements of who I am, and I have to nurture all those things, because if I let one of those things slip and slide, yeah, I'm neglecting it. I need to make sure that it's taken care of and nurtured. So those are the three main things that I took away from the movie. If there's any other things that you felt like were really pivotal in that movie that you feel like you want to talk about, go to the comment section down below. I'd love to get other people's insights and points of view, but I definitely, if you haven't seen it, recommend watching that movie. I think it is an amazing movie, and it really helps highlight some of these main points when it comes to just your journey. And in some videos that I have coming up, I actually will talk about how to figure out, like, what are you good at and what are you passionate about. I will talk about a few career assessments and things like that, and how to get the ball rolling with those if you're interested in doing something of that nature. So, as always, thank you guys for spending the time here today. If you like the video, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And yes, thank you guys for spending that time with me today. Have a good day.